Welcome to the Paper Snob. This is Tara and Phineas. You can see his little tail sitting right there. Today I am working on my Scraplift Crafternoon layout. This is a hop that I hostess here on my channel each Sunday, where we find a layout that we love either on Instagram or YouTube, once in a while Pinterest, and we ask the original creator if we can scrap lift it. Today we are scrap lifting Pretty Little Studios design team member, Jenny Newland. We do have her permission, of course. I will have her information linked down below so that you can check out her Instagram account as well as the Pretty Little Studio Instagram account. If you're not familiar with their papers, you are missing out. Love their product. It's a great female-owned company, and I love supporting small companies like this, and so it's great to be using some of her product. I'm going to pop Jenny's layout up here in the corner for you so that you can take a good look at it. It is Pretty Little Studio amazingness right there, and I am going to be using, I think it's the same collection. These are the photos that I'm going to be using. I know that one of Jenny's photos is larger than mine, but we're going to make it work, I promise. So I have these papers. Everything is from You Are My Sunshine, with the exception of this rainbow, which is from the previous year's collection called Sunkissed, which I also haven't finished using. So I have some embellishments pulled. When I shut the camera down, I will go through these a little bit more to make sure that I'm only pulling what I think I'm going to use. Wordy bits. I've got some title pieces here. And the final thing I have on my desktop for this layout is this Color Cast Designs Feline Friend, and that is going to be my main title. This layout has two fairly large titles on it, so super excited to get started with this. I'll pause and I'll be right back without Phineas. All right, so let's get started. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to be building this background a little bit, but I want to fussy cut some of the kitties out of this piece of pattern paper. This is such a cute little piece of pattern paper with cut aparts that you can use. I'm going to cut the kitties out of the frames and use them that way on my layout, but you could totally cut the frames out and use those as embellishments. I think that is kind of a great way to use this pattern paper. I love little extras like this. I do have a lot of scraps sitting here, but with that background paper that I chose for this layout, there's a lot of white edges. And I know that the last time I created a layout with paper that had a lot of white edges, I really felt like it needed something. So I am going to preemptively fix that, and I'm going to gut this pattern paper here, which is a great mixed media background in the collection. Again, this collection is You Are My Sunshine by Pretty Little Studio. It's beautiful, and I've got quite a bit of it left. And the photos that I'm using were taken in summertime, but they're of a kitten, so the theme summer doesn't really matter that much. Most of the reason I bought this collection was for all of the little kitten icons that are in the collection. Well, that and because I have to have it all. Don't we all have to have it all? So I gutted the mixed media background, and now I'm going to go ahead and cut a 1/2 inch off one side and a 1/2 inch off the bottom of the background paper. And I'm going to go ahead and get these photos cut in half. Again, one of my photos isn't as large as the photo on Jenny's layout. And Phineas is full of it today, guys. He will not stay off my desk. But I'm going to go ahead and get this layout background put together here first. This paper here is so pretty. You could use it for a background. You can use it like I'm using it to create a frame around your layout. You can cut it apart and make great embellishments with it. It's a beautiful piece of paper, and I really think it helps to set off this wider mixed media background. And then, of course, because I wanted to create my background as close to Jenny's as possible, she had a strip of clouds on her left-hand side of hers. And so I'm going to use this pattern paper here with all of the kitties on it. And I am going to put that on the left-hand side. Now, initially, I thought I might use the branding strip from the white piece of paper to kind of offset the two light backgrounds that I have going on here. But in the end, I don't actually need to do that. So I'm going to fussy cut out this scalloped border from that scrap from a couple of layouts. Actually, I think I've used that same pattern paper on a couple of layouts with this collection. And so this is just another scrap, and I'm saving all of the borders from it to use in that manner. I also cut out a sun from the same pattern paper. It's in strips at this point, so I don't remember if I do that part on camera or not. But here's Phineas again. He is really nosy today, and I have had such fun picking him up, putting him on the floor for him to jump right back up. So, yep, he's right in your camera view. I'm sorry. I will move him and we'll get going again. All right, I think I got him occupied doing something else, and I am going to cut out the sun on camera here. So I just cut it off the yellow border, and now I'm just going to go through and snip off all of the extra paper around the points of the sun so that I have the full icon there. He's a really cute little happy sun, and there's a couple of these icons in the ephemera pack, but since I have this piece of pattern paper here, I just decided to go ahead and use it. I guess I lied. There's Phineas again. Now I do have company over as I'm recording this layout. We're all scrapbooking, and he is checking out my two friends' scrappy supplies and letting them know that they're missing quite a few things, that they really need to get in there and buy some more product because they don't have as much as Mom does. What he doesn't know is they also each have a room full of fun stuff to play with, but he does like to check out everybody's scrappy stuff, and sometimes I think he's probably giving us pointers. But anyway, this is kind of just a fun little icon here. I really like it. I did go through some of the ephemera as well and pick out what I want to use so that I'm not doing that part on camera. That would make this video exceptionally long. So I'm going to set aside the rest of that piece of pattern paper, and I ended up grabbing a second rainbow from the Sunkissed collection. I bought the Pretty Little Studio Warehouse box, and it had I think one or two of them in it, and of course I already had a couple of them. I think I ended up with 5 altogether, so I thought it won't hurt to grab a couple of them and use them on this layout. And I thought it was a great way to double mat my photo area. So I have these 2 little photos here at the bottom that I'm going to use, and then I have the photo up there at the top. I am going to cut out this wordy bit from this little, it's just a bunch of little wordy bits, and I'm going to cut those out. Now I'm going to go ahead and cut out the kittens from these frames so that I can get them down on a page. I thought these would be a lot harder to fussy cut than they are. Now I do know I'm cutting the whiskers off. Those would be difficult to get on there, and I probably wouldn't be happy with any way that I managed to save them on there, even if I left all of the white in between each whisker. I just don't think I would be particularly happy with that. So I'm going to cut them off and just be fine with it. They're adorable. These little kittens are just so adorable. I love that there is a gray and black tabby there, because of course I have 2 tabbies, and I think it's cute that I have one that's pretty close to Jasper at this age. Jasper was pretty new to our household in these photos. And the story behind them, because you can't really see what he's doing, is he had the zoomies, as kittens do, and he was running up and down the tile hallway in my house, skidding and playing, and he got to the front door, which I had this red rug laying in the front door, and he went under it and he flipped it, and then eventually he was just all rolled up in it. So you can see kind of in a couple of the photos that he is rolled up in rug, and at one point, because I was playing with him, he scooched back so far so only his little eyes and nose were peeking out of the rug. They're just adorable little photos of a kitten. And I'm pretty much down to mostly kitten photos or cat photos in my 2016 album. There's a few other things in there that I need to finish documenting, but I'm really close to finishing my 2016 albums. I'm really curious, how many albums do you guys end up with per year? My goal for 2017 is to have less than an album per month. I think 2016, if I counted correctly, I ended up with 10 rather than 12 because I combined a couple of the months. And that is my goal with 2017. Also, I did not take as many photos in 2017 as I had in the past. I decided around this time frame that it was time to slow my roll on the amount of photos that I was taking and, spend the time while we're making memories, not just behind the camera, but also enjoying my kids and the things that we were doing. And sometimes if you're busy trying to just document the whole memory, you can miss out. So behind her lower photos, she had tickets or other pieces of little ephemera with wordy bits on it. I am putting 3 tags in there, and I will put some twine on those off camera, but that is kind of my goal there. Opening up my title piece from Color Cast Design. At first I try to get it underneath the top photo, and I decide that it's just not really going to work there because it doesn't cover up the stems to my flowers. Now, I could have absolutely cut those stems off, but I didn't. I was just kind of trying to work as quickly as I could while Phineas was otherwise occupied with my friends who were scrapbooking with me. And so I was trying to get this done and all glued down before he came back to bug me. Actually, I think he did off camera one other time. He came back and sat on top of the layout while I was trying to glue it. Go figure. So I put a lot of the flowers up there. I got my little sun icon that I cut out up there. I've got one wordy bit. I'm going to cut out a second one and I'm going to place it up there. But I also pulled out some cute little ladybugs, and they don't really have anything to do with kittens. They're just a couple of icons in the collection that I wanted to get used. And then over by the 2 daisies on the top left, I put a wordy bit called Happy Day. That is a sticker, a dimensional sticker from somewhere else. I want to say it was probably from like the little dollar spot that you can get that is in Joann's, but I'm not positive. I got the little banner with the wordy bit out, and I'm going to cut a couple of labels here. I actually think I cut 3, and those labels are going to go right under the title that says "You Are My Sunshine," and I'm going to just journal right there on top of that. That is a deviation from the original layout, but my goal is not always to completely copy the layout that we're scraplifting exactly. I like to pull in my own things with one of these. Sometimes you can barely tell that my layout is a scrap lift, which is why these videos are so much fun to create and to watch back, because you get the why behind how somebody created the layout and see where they took inspiration from the original creator. Now, of course, if I go completely rogue, that doesn't mean I disliked the original layout. It just means my creative brain went somewhere else and took inspiration from a small part. And, as far as I'm concerned, that is an okay way to scrap lift somebody. I think that this hop has stretched me in a way that I wasn't expecting. I know when I first started this hop with the original ladies who were involved before it became my baby to lead and run, I was like, I don't want to scrap lift. That's boring. But you know what? I have been stretched and my creative thinking has grown with this hop, scrap lifting, different takes on different layouts. It's just been a great time. I highly recommend it. And no move. Alright, I got this layout completely done. It is glued down. I did add some twine to my tag tops. That's not in the original creator's layout because she didn't use tags, but pretty happy with the way this turned out. I did add another label. This is still a Pretty Little Studio label, but just from a different collection. And I hand stamped the date, just the month and the year a couple of times, and then did some of the I forget what you call it, where you stamp it the second time so that it's not as dark as the other. I did that a couple of times as well. Got my journaling on here, popped things up with foam adhesive. Everything is glued down. I really love how this turned out. I want to thank you for coming to my channel today. I really appreciate those of you who take the time to like, comment, and or subscribe. If you are new here, I would love to have you subscribe to my channel. And if you have any comments or questions, please go ahead and list those or put those down below in the comment box and I'll get back to you. Also, make sure that you check out the description box at the below my video so that you can check out that playlist. Our Instagram accounts are also listed down there. And of course, I will have the social media information for Jenny's Instagram account as well as the Pretty Little Studio account as well. You guys have a great rest of your Sunday. Bye.